So this is my third review in as many days. I gotta say this has been one of the best weeks of film watching I've had in the last couple of years. Of course, a couple of days ago I had a chance to see the fun and entertaining Doctor Strange. I had yesterday the chance to see the epic and visceral Hacksaw Ridge. And now I got to see something a little bit smaller, a little more intimate movie called Moonlight, which may have been the best one out of the three I saw this week. And with that, I welcome you to another episode of The Romantic, where my goal, as always, is to enhance your movie watching experience. So Moonlight, this is a very unknown movie. It's very small, independent film by Barry Jenkins. It's his first major motion picture, who actually co-wrote this movie. And I gotta say, I was really impressed about what I saw here. I can smell the Oscar nomination for this movie, and it'd be well-deserved. And honestly, I gotta say, it'd be a crime if it's not even nominated this year. So obviously there's a lot to like about this movie, and to give you a quick synopsis about what this movie is about, it's a coming of age story. It's a deep character study about this one particular character who in the beginning of the movie is a boy, and by the end they show him already all grown up. Very similar to what Boyhood did a couple of years back, but in a much better way. It actually is almost like three parts. The first part of the story is him about 9 or 10 years old. Then it moves on to the second part where he's in high school, and then when he's an adult, maybe about 8 to 10 years beyond the high school years. Now, Boyhood I thought was a little bit overrated because it was an interesting premise, but my problem with Boyhood is that it focused more on the supporting characters than the actual kid itself and what he actually went through. This movie is the total opposite. This movie central focus is this one particular kid growing into a man, and his arc from boyhood to where he ends up. And it's fascinating because you think about him with that, like he's a kid who obviously had a broken home. He lives in poverty in the ghetto, and his mom's a drug addict and what have you. But it kind of breaks away from the typical stereotypes you may see in a movie like this, much like what Dope did a couple of years ago, because this movie is more about him. He's kind of solitaire. He's being bullied a lot, and he's struggling with his sexuality. The main character is gay, something we don't normally see in this kind of movie, and it explores that, and how he's kind of always hiding from that fact, and is learning how to cope with it. Now, what Jenkins does here is that he really puts the onus on us to kind of figure out what everybody's feeling and what you should be feeling. He doesn't force feed you a certain emotion about any particular scene, and I don't want to get too much detail about it. I want you guys to experience it on your own. But again, things that happen, it gives you a chance for you to figure out how you feel about what you saw. It's not the overplayed music, over dramatic scenery. It's just let the scenes play out, and you kind of figure out what's going on. And you also try to figure out what's in the main character's head. His name is Sharon, I believe. They called him Little. That was his nickname when he was a boy. And it's fascinating to see how a few moments in this kid's life altered the rest of his future. And it's amazing to see that kind of progression and where he ends up and where he started, and still giving it that at the end a real payoff of hope at the end of the movie, which is really interesting. And again, it's such a true character study. It's nothing big, it's not flashy. This movie won't be for everybody, and again, it's not a movie you can go to the theater and watch it. It's very limited release, and I realize a movie of this nature, I'll probably get 5 reviews on this, 5 views on it anyway. But those 5 people who do get a chance to watch this, be fortunate enough and go try to watch this movie. I know Hacksaw Ridge is out, and I know Doctor Strange is out, and I don't blame you for going to watch those movies first, and you probably should if you want to. But ultimately, if you get a chance, it's not one you have to, I always say recommend to watch in the theaters, but watch it at some point. This movie is that good, it's that thought-provoking, it's that powerful, and I guarantee you're gonna hear this in Oscar time. You might as well get a head start on it now, because a lot of times people end up watching these kind of small films once they're announced for the Oscars. So trust me, this is an excellent, well-made, well-directed, beautifully shot movie. I was really impressed. Don't get me wrong, it's not a movie which is it's a slow burn. You're not gonna be, entertained like you were watching a Doctor Strange movie. This is not what this is about. This is a true film, a story about the character, and you following that particular character and what he has to go through. And that's what really makes this movie impressive. It's a great change of pace from what we normally see from the grand scale. And again, given the week that I had watching a movie like Amaro Flake, watching a movie that Mel Gibson directed, and those are the big epic pictures, and so much there, so visceral visceral, but this one is actually a much smaller movie. It's a good contrast to what for myself I just experienced over the last week or so. But either way, if you guys do get a chance to see this movie, and I do urge you guys to go watch it if you get a chance, comment below, let me know what you guys thought. And of course, as always, subscribe below and feed my need to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.